Hello, I'm here at North Care Training Center with Mary Javier, and I'm going to take the next 10 minutes to discuss with you the subject of home care aide. I think this subject is very misunderstood on what a student needs and what an employer needs and how we get to the 75 hours. So I want to break it down because I find that many people are wasting a lot of money that could be used in other areas because they just don't understand how it's supposed to be used. So I'm going to take you over to our first scenario. So let's say that you come to Mary and you don't have anything. So if you don't have anything, you're going to be working towards the 75 hours right off the bat. So when you go to her class, you're going to take safety and orientation, 8-hour dementia specialty, your mental health specialty, your TBI, traumatic brain injury, your navigating challenging behaviors, nurse delegation, as well as skills and core basic training. With that, you're going to walk out of this school with the 75-hour certificate and all the skills that you need to pass your home care aide. So skills test with the Department of Health. So that's scenario one, the person that has nothing. Now, let's move on to scenario 2 and 3. Many people don't realize that adult family homes and ALFs can teach their own safety and orientation. If you're a new startup, ALF or adult family home, you will automatically be given those certificates upon licensing. They'll email them to you and you can immediately start training your staff. If you are not a startup, then you need to do the process that's required of you so that you can train those things. But many facilities can also train their own mental health and dementia. So let's just say that you come to me as a worker and you present to me certificates and I notice you have safety and orientation already. You've done nurse delegation. You've done 8 hours mental health and the new dementia specialty training. So you're actually walking into me as an employee with 30 hours under your belt. So really all I need is 45 more hours and then I can send you to testing. So I'm then gonna go to Mary and I'm gonna say, Mary, how do we make this work? Let's look at your menu of options here and the hours that are available and make this work for the student. So Mary's gonna say, let's do the 37-hour basic core training. Let's do the traumatic brain injury for 5 hours, and then let's do the navigating of challenging behaviors. Perfect. So they walk in the door with 30, they complete 45, and bam, they walk out with 75 hours and now they can go on to testing. This is the goal. Many people believe they have to go sign up for the whole entire program, and what they're not realizing is they're just forcing their employees or the students to go through classes that they've already done, and we're spending wasted money and wasted time. So now I'm going to take you on to scenario 3. Scenario 3 is going to capture the old mental health and the old dementia. So the old mental health could range as low as 4 hours, and I've seen it as high as 8 hours. The old dementia could range, actually I've seen as low as 4 hours, and then again as high as 8 hours. And then perhaps DDA. DDA state, and there's DDA population specific. The population specific and the DDA state of today is 16 hours. The DDA state specialty of the past was 18 hours. They actually reduced their education need to 16 hours. So I have a student that comes in with all these hours. They actually are coming in, student A with 31 and the employee B with 33. So my question is, what do we need? We need to achieve 75 hours. So again, I'm gonna ring up Mary and I'm gonna say, how are we gonna make this happen? What does this student really need? They need core basic training because they don't have it, okay? Core basic training I have seen as low as in the 20s and as high as in the 65s. So core basic training is going to be variable depending on what school you go to. But in Mary's school, she's perfect. She's got a perfect 37, which is great in most all mathematical scenarios. So the employee comes in at a 31 or a 33. Employee A, employee B. So Mary says, hey, let's take employee A through core basic training. Let's give them a little core basic training, and also let's throw on some nurse delegation. So yes, we're over the 75 by 2 hours, so we're at 77, but they still achieve the 75-hour certificate. Now, B, 33 hours. I say to Mary, what are we gonna do with 33 hours? She goes, hey, no problem. Let's do the same thing. We're gonna send them through core basic training for 37 hours, and then we'll send them to nurse delegation for 9 hours. Again, this person's gonna walk away with 79 hours, but it's still greater than the 75 hours. So please, when you're working with your employees, you need to understand how this math works. So that way, if you decide in your facility to train your own mental health, to train your own dementia, to train your own safety and orientation, or some facilities can even train their own DDA, that by doing in-house training, we can save a lot of money by working with schools like Mary who understand how the math works and are interested in just giving our students what they need, not selling them some big combo package that they don't need. So I just wanted to take a moment, like I said, to discuss with you on the goal here, because DSH has designed this program for flexibility of the worker so that the worker could go from school to school, from employer to employer, and gather a little bit of what they need so that accumulatively they can put it all together and be 75 hours. Now I want to talk to you about a special group. It's called the Long-Term Care Exempt Worker Group. It's the group that has the old Fundamentals of Caregiving certificate that's dated before January 7th, 2012. If you have that certificate, send it into the Department of Health with your employment verification, and you can test for your home care aide. A lot of people don't realize that if you are an exempt long-term care worker and you proof of your Fundamentals of Caregiving certificate and proof of your employment verification, you are eligible to test, meaning you test, you become your home care aide, and then you can soon enroll into Mary's program to do the Bridge to CNA, which is going to be a 3-day program, which is going to be quite amazing. 1 day of clinicals, 2 days of theory, and then before you know it, you'll be a CNA. So I just want you to know the different options and help everyone to understand how this education works.